Hi, everybody. This is Terry,
And I'm Teresa.
and this is Creative Connections.
Yeah, so if you're coming on live, we're a little bit early. I'm just trying to well, I'm gonna get Terry to find on the phone how to get to the page so we can see your comments and all. And if you are joining us live, welcome. We're really happy to have you here. Please put your name and where you're from in the comments. And we hope you'll join in the conversation. We'd love to know your opinions. So here we go.
There you go.
There we are.
Yeah, if you're later, if you're watching on YouTube, just give us a thumbs up or 2 thumbs up, whatever they let you do.
Yeah. And if you're live here on Facebook, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Let people know that we're live right now. Not that we're going to be dead later.
No, I don't plan to be dead. I don't know about you. But don't forget to subscribe to on YouTube.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Hit the set. And you know what? They got a little bell thing there. It's really cute.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it gives you a notification whenever we put up a new video or something. We don't put up a lot of videos, so that might be a good idea.
Yeah, that might be a good idea. And we're just waiting. I was just waiting for a few people to come on board here.
Yeah.
And and so we're trying to get ready for this today. I was a little busy. I had some clients I had to deal with this morning, and with my other business, Axe Computer Trading and Services, where I go to clients' homes and help them with any problem they have, with troubleshoot mainly and train on computers.
Yeah.
And so I get a lot of seniors.
Yeah. And
so what you're working on before we start the meeting?
I was I was making some ads in Canva. If you are a business person, a student, whatever, we highly recommend Canva. You can get the free version, which is great. Yeah, we use that for a few years, and in the last few months we went Canva Pro, and oh my goodness, it's just fantastic. Really great.
I love it. Matt Tommy led us onto that, and the Matt Tommy mentoring group created to Thrive. And there was a great resource, great tool to use for any presentations you do. From doing like presentations or videos or just promoting your business. So it's just phenomenal. We love it. It's better than anything Microsoft got out there right now. It's really good. Really enjoy it.
So we don't want to take up too much of your time, so we're just going to dive right into the topic. And if you come in late, introduce yourself. I'm trying to keep an eye on the comments here, so I can call you out if you put your name down and say hi, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Okay, so let's get into today's topic called balancing all the things.
If you are live, or even if you're on the replay, let us know how you're doing with that, if that's a struggle for you.
Well, for me, I have to admit, I struggle with balancing all things. Because you never know what's going to be thrown at you each day. So you got to be, you got to learn how to balance. Yeah. And that's a struggle for everybody. So.
Yeah, me too.
So here's a little illustration. I'm going to share the screen here. So give me a second. I'll go to share screen. And so this is a little Teresa put together this little presentation. And what happened to it? Oh, I know where it is. Okay, I'll find it. Let me go over here.
Okay.
I get back to this screen here, and we just have to go back one page over here. There we go. And then I'll just go to streaming presentation like that. And this is Canva here, by the way, folks, that we've been talking about.
This is the first time. So we're going to go back to the first slide.
Yeah, we were just doing a test run here, so forgot to go back.
Yeah, forgive us. Yeah, so this is kind of what it looks like for us. These are some of the things we are trying to balance. God, housework, computer business, appointments, writing, shopping, exercise,
pets.
Pets, online marketplace,
vacation,
I forget what that is.
Yeah, me too. We haven't had one in a while.
Yeah,
We need a vacation.
meals, um, food prep and
Errands, I usually run a lot of errands, so.
yeah, friends, church.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the things, all the things. How do you balance all the things? So how do we do it? Let's start with the 3 B's.
Okay.
The first one is be realistic about what you can do. You can't possibly do everything. So the next B is be kind to yourself.
Oh, yes.
Don't put expectations on yourself that there's no way that you can meet.
Right.
Especially if you have, you have little kids or whatever. Be flexible with your schedule. Let your schedule work for you. You're not working for your schedule. So, you need to give yourself permission sometimes to take a day off, take a nap, go for a walk,
Yes. With the
yeah.
weather getting nicer, going for a walk is great now for us, especially here in Prince Edward Island, Canada. This is where we're broadcasting from here.
Mhm.
Yeah. So this brings us to the subject of priorities. For us, that means God,
Next slide. Mhm.
family. Oh, didn't go to the next slide. It started all over. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. There we go. It going too fast. Okay,
There we go.
Priorities.
Priorities.
Oh, a little delay in the clutch there as well. We got that right.
Sorry,
Anyways.
guys, but this is kind of new to us, so we'll get better.
Yeah, well, we
We'll
are
get
getting better. We've come a long way.
Mhm.
But some of the priorities we have in life is mainly God first, then family, and then our business.
Mhm. And when I think of priorities, I immediately think of scheduling. So, if there's any way that I can manage multiple businesses, writing books, taking care of pets
Yeah.
and feed pets like this and and housework and everything, I need a schedule. There's no way that I can do all those things without having something written down that I can go, okay, when I'm half asleep and I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, okay, what do I have to do today? If I have it written down, this is what you're supposed to do today, then it just kind of frees up a lot of brain space for me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's good to have it written down. I need reminders a lot. So yeah, I need that too.
Mhm.
And some of the things you can think about scheduling is like family vacations, family time that we take once a week. We either watch a movie or play a game, or we go to a special event going on in town.
Mhm.
Or you can schedule things to do once a week, whatever that may be. But what we do every day, we scheduled a sit down for a meeting or for dinners, I mean, and we talk about our day.
Mhm. Yeah. So that brings us to the next slide, kind of, because if you can combine things, so like you see this family, they're reading together, which is kind of an educational thing, but it's a spiritual thing. They're praying together, they have a family time together. So when we sit down to eat our meals, we pray together. So I'm combining making sure that we get healthy sit down meals. So we're making sure we're getting that rest activity, and we're also connecting as a family on a personal level, but we're also connecting with God together. And one of the things I do sometimes is when I'm exercising on the treadmill, I can watch, I can read a book, or I can watch an art tutorial, something like that. So combining things can also help you to get, I don't want to say pack more into your life, but it can actually, instead of I have to have this amount of time to read and this amount of time to exercise. Well, if you can combine them.
Yeah.
And
for myself, I usually combine when I'm doing my art, drawing, and sketches. I have a place up in my room, I have an art desk, and I'll put on a podcast that I've really been wanting to listen to. And I find that really helps me to stay focused when I'm working on at the moment. So that's
Mhm.
one way I combine things
Mhm.
when I have the time to do it.
Right. That's
Because I don't
good.
like sitting down and watching a podcast and not doing anything. I have to be doing something
the
with my
same way.
hands. I gotta be doing
Yeah.
something else.
On the
So
same. way.
that's kind of one way I combine.
Yeah, or even listening to a podcast while I'm fixing supper.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that helps too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we should recap the 3 B's again.
Mm-hmm.
Be realistic, what you can do, and then really be kind to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and give yourself permission to let some things go during the day and not kick yourself around about it. Because
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's just low on the priority list. Let it go.
Yeah. And be flexible.
Yeah.
Your schedule is for you. You are not for your schedule. So there's sometimes when you need to bend things, if somebody's just calling in the middle of your workday and they just want to chat and you've got work to do, it is absolutely fine for you to say, hey, I'd love to catch up with you sometime. Let's schedule another time. Right now, I'm in the middle of my workday.
Mhm.
And, because when you work at home, when you're an entrepreneur, which if you are a creative, you are an entrepreneur, and you do need to schedule that time.
Yeah.
But people think because you're at home, you're always available. And you have to let them know that, no, I'm not available. I've scheduled this time to do my work. Now, the other day I got a call from someone and I felt that it was important enough that I needed to take time out from my schedule. So be flexible, just kind of discern that this is a worthy interruption. I need to allow it. Or this is an interruption that could happen or this doesn't have to be an interruption. We could schedule it for a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm.
And the last one to reflect on again is the priorities.
Yeah.
Set your priorities. Every day priority is going to have to be reset because you never know what's going to come up. And that's where the rock, pebbles, and sand comes in. Rock being the main priority. And this
Can you explain that for some people that don't know that illustration?
rock. So if you had a jar or something, or can you? I'm not sure I can.
Okay, so there
You
was
better
this
do that.
professor, and he brought to his class a glass jar. It was I don't know what kind of
Okay,
jar.
right.
He brought a big mayonnaise jar or something, and he had beside him a pile of little rocks, and then he had a pile of pebbles, and then he had a pile of sand. And so he put the rocks into the jar and right to the rim, and he said to his students, is this jar full? And they said, yes, it's full. And then he took the pebbles and he put them in, and they filled in all the little spaces between the rocks. And he said, what do you say now? Is it full now? Yes, it's definitely full. And so we took the sand, and that went into even more gaps that were in the jar. And so he said, okay, now is it full? Yeah, it's really full this time. So the illustration was that if he had put the sand in first, he would not have been able to fit in the pebbles and the rocks. Or if he put the
Yes.
pebbles in first, he wouldn't have been able to fit in the rocks. So often what we do is when we don't prioritize, and we talked about that in our last podcast, No Time to Create.
Right.
You can look that up on YouTube.
Yeah.
If we put in like what you tend to do is, I know what I tend to do, human nature is, well, I've got all these little things, and if I do all these little things, then I'm going to have time to do the big thing. What happens is that you run out of time, you run out of energy. By the time you do all the little things, there's no time left, especially to create. So you want to prioritize, you want to identify your rocks, the priorities, the things that, at the end of your life, you want to say, I accomplished these things,
Yeah.
right? And having, a super clean toilet.
I was just gonna say that because it's housework too, like
Yeah.
sometimes we look at the house and it's getting dirty, but
Oh, I know.
it's not a rock at that moment.
Yes.
We have to just say, okay,
Mhm.
ignore it, continue with the rock,
Yeah.
and then you'll have
Yeah.
time a little later to prioritize
And
that.
if you can hire somebody to do some
Oh,
of
yeah.
the sand and pebble things, do that.
Yeah,
Like, even some of the things in your art, if you can hire somebody to prepare a bunch of canvases or,
Yeah.
but if you can hire somebody to come once a week. I found that out years ago. I used to feel so inferior to other women that had families and full-time jobs, and their houses were just beautiful.
yeah,
And I found out every single one of them had a housekeeper.
yeah, that's for sure. Oh, my sakes.
Yeah.
And some of the priorities include fun stuff like vacation
Yeah.
hobbies too. Like you gotta prioritize that. That's really important.
Mhm.
And you just gotta figure out what is priority to you
Mhm.
and move that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And finally combine tasks and priorities
Yeah.
when you can.
Yeah.
So, like maybe you're doing the housework but you're listening to a podcast at the same time,
Yeah.
or or worship music. Like I
Yeah, I
know,
do that.
yeah, like just mopping and worshiping God and
Worship and wash.
worship and wash. Yeah.
So anyhow, that's some of the attempts that we make at prioritizing our time. We're not perfect. We're flexible.
It's a work in progress.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
work in progress.
Yeah.
We try to do the best we can. So
Mhm.
don't kick yourself for it. Be kind to yourself again.
Yes. Yes. So let us know in the comments of if any of these suggestions you found helpful.
Yeah. And share them. Share them with
Yeah,
us.
share one of your own too.
Yeah, share. Put in the comments below,
Mhm.
like now or later on the YouTube. So we'll see, or on Facebook, or
Yeah.
whenever you're watching this.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, whether you're joining us live, which I don't see any dead people. I don't see any live people on there.
Well, I'm
But
alive.
I'm alive. Yeah. So even if you're not joining us live, if you're catching the replay on Facebook or on YouTube, we just thank you for joining, and
Yeah.
God bless you.
God bless you. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.